Hello and welcome to the lecture of International Business Environment. In this lecture, we will going to have a discussion on the electronic commerce, that is unit 20 of block 5. So after having a very good idea about the international business environment, what is international business, trade, theory of international business, what are those environment which needs to be considered, which are those institute which have all roles and responsibility to perform that task. So in this session we will basically discussing about the e-commerce, which is the today's basic scenario, that is the having a business, having a commerce on the basis of electronic media. So this is what the having a support of we can say that technology. So in this session we will basically going to discuss this. So the topics which we will going to discuss are the very first is introduction, then emerging directions in the international business, electronic commerce, internet service, world wide web, electronic data interchange, global trade point network. So if we talk about the development in the trade practices, so yes, having a technological support, have IT support with it, that is the one of the growth, or we can say that the upgrading of that commerce practices. अपने business को, अपने commerce को day by day improve करने के लिए, better करने के लिए, yes, technology support was there, and having an e-commerce, having an e-businesses, that is the one of a very upgradations of with the support of that technology. So rapid development in the computers and telecommunication technology, or we can say that the popularity of World Wide Web is basically bringing out the drastic, or we can say that dramatical change in the trade practices of the particular business. So international electronic commerce has basically managed their resources with the maximum efficiency using the global information infrastructure. Yes, because they have a global information infrastructure, and they're required to be a very efficient enough for performing these tasks. So that is what basically the very upgrading of that international businesses. So if we discuss about the emerging directions, they are basically to handle the information effectively with the help of informative technologies. Information technology की वजह से जब एक organization step in करती है to bringing out the right practices in the business, that was comes into the one of trend, we can say that the changing direction of the business. If we talk about today's scenario, तो आज की practices जो हैं businesses की, that was provide all those services, provide all those facilities to the customer on time, or we can say that whosoever the company is providing the good services and good product in the market, automatically that is the leading company. So that shows that yes, there is something extra techniques which are used, or the leader of that particular market have a certain edge from others competitors in the market. So in that case, yes, there are techniques, minor techniques, like we can say that just-in-time inventory is a one technique, TQM is a one technique, CRM is a one technique. These are all the different techniques which a business used to be a better in the market. So global partnership is a basically emerging reality, and these reality needs to be more improvement and more addressing part to the customer, कि कैसे ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा customers तक reach out किया जा सकता है, कैसे उन्हें हम ज़्यादा concern show कर सकते हैं अपने customer को, and we can provide a better services to the customer. In that sense, yes, business always need something new in a practices. So that will always lead to the emerging directions in the international business. So if we discuss about the e-commerce, it is using the electronic channel based on the computer telecommunication technologies, that is using the computer with it, using technology to provide your information, to transact your product, to have or to generate money from your organization. That all comes into the e-commerce. So this is what a lot of business transaction and information interchange, and they basically automatically comes into our practices. Again, in e-commerce there is no geographical dispersions, or we can say that geographical boundaries are not there. So you have a one market, you have a one area to perform, and you will actually serving for everyone. So that comes into the e-commerce, and this is one of we can say that the add-on feature of e-commerce for the business practices. So in the emerging global electronic marketplace, all the company meets on the equal terms, and yes, they assess all the information to communicate. So third party offer the valid added services. They basically, it's always required, because when we set the competition, it always means that yes, there may be a similarities in the product or the techniques of working in the market, but there is a one difference, that is not providing the service, have a specialized direction, giving some proof, some evidence, credit handling, credit facilities. All these are our services which company can give the customer for a better e-commerce practices. If we talk about the benefit of electronic commerce, so in very first is the innovation marketing strategy. That is, yes, through this the company can enter into the very innovative marketing practices. Global research for even the small businesses, have a global practices for the small businesses. They have a one area in which they can perform globally. Efficient market research, you get a very good information at a very less time, so that comes into efficient market research. Cost reduction was there, minimizing the cost, minimizing more human efforts. Multimedia presentation of product, company and marketing information. Yes, that is what presenting your company to the world market by your website, making website, giving them information. Yes, this company is performing and performing at that level. Excellent scope for the domestic product, bringing out the popularity, bringing out the betterment for the product and gain all that visibilities of that product. And yes, mass communication, or we can say that mass customization through online interactions. That means there are many customers just with the help of the internet, or we can say that with the help of online promotion. So that was all the benefits of EC, which is basically used in the trade practices. Now, what are those internet services which is used in the business? Now, very first question arises as what is internet? If we talk about the internet is simply a interconnected connections, or we can say that these are our interconnected networks. So in that case, yes, these networks have a very big connectivity. In that case, they can provide many services to the businesses. The very first is assessing and retrieving the information. That means retrieve the information, and yes, at the same time assessing those or giving the benefits or getting a benefit from that particular information. Another is using the recreation facilities, come up with the different kind of facilities. So that comes into recreation facilities. Have transacting businesses, have businesses at the transaction level, have a transactions with that. Teleworking was also there and communicating was also. So these are all services which can be provided by the internet. Now, what is World Wide Web? If we talk about World Wide Web, is basically, yes, the www, which is a short form of it. It is very popular, and at the same time they basically gives in a path in an area in which the client and servers basically perform their roles. That is basically help the companies to have, or they can provide their information about their businesses, their practices at a worldwide level. So that comes into the World Wide Web. So it is basically a client, or we can say that it's as we said, it's a client server architecture. So in that case, a client is a program on the user's computer terminal. So this is what basically stored or located at all over the world. Now, what is EDI? If we talk about EDI, it is electronic data interchange. It is one of that source which is very popular in the exporting and importing at an international level. This is what basically interchanging the informations by computer to computer. That is exchanging of business informations amongst the trading partners. So trading partners can share their, we can say that the firms share their ideas, share documents, and yes, at the same time there are clauses also. So in a common EDI scenario, purchase order are sent to the suppliers. The suppliers send acknowledgement and follow up a sending shipping documents. That is all if we discuss about purchase order, or if we discuss about the acknowledgement letter or all that shipping document, these are all those documents which are basically complete the all international, all the exporting and importing formalities. And yes, at the same time, the purchase maker payment through the bank on the receipt of the invoices. So get clearance with your payment, have that proper invoices, receipt of that invoice. So These all are comes into the electronic data's interchanging. So it is one of a very important source through which we can say that the traders can minimize their cost, minimize their time. Now next is Global Trade Point Network, that is GTPN. This is what basically launched by UNCTAD, that is United Nations Conference on Trade and Development. So this is what basically giving you the trading point program. It is what basically initiate with the objective to open the international trade to the new participant with the small and medium sized entrepreneurs. So entrepreneurs can enter into the international practices by simplifying and harmonizing the trade procedures worldwide. वो एक worldwide अपने procedures देख सकते हैं. Yes, उन procedures के through वो बहुत ही सिंप्लीफाई कर सकते हैं अपनी ट्रांजैक्शंस को. सो दैट इज व्हाट द मेन ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ जीटीपी. सो इस प्रोग्राम के जो 4 मेजर ऑब्जेक्टिव्स थे, दैट इज वेरी फर्स्ट इज मेक इंटरनेशनल ट्रेड ट्रांजैक्शंस मोर एफिशिएंट. इंटरनेशनल ट्रेड ट्रांजैक्शंस को ज्यादा एफिशिएंट बनाना है, उसे स्टैंडर्डाइज बनाना है. मेक अ करंट एंड प्रोस्पेक्टिव इंटरनेशनल ट्रेडर्स मोर इफेक्टिव बाय प्रोवाइडिंग इजी एक्सेस. दैट मींस yes, that is what making them. आपने उन्हें एक certain point दे दिया जहां पर वो हर procedures को check कर सकते हैं, go through कर सकते हैं हर documentation को, and yes, at the same time it is the area through which they can enter and they can get the idea about how to enter into the international practices. So in that case they provide them an easy access. तो ये बहुत easy access trade information उनको मिल जाती हैं. And yes, at the same time प्रमोट द न्यू कमर्शियल पार्टनर्स. जितने भी नए कमर्शियल पार्टनर्स होते हैं जो इंटरनेशनल ट्रेडिंग्स में जुड़ते हैं, सो प्रोवाइडिंग देम द इलेक्ट्रॉनिक इंफॉर्मेशन एंड कम्युनिकेशंस. एंड यस, एट द सेम टाइम इंक्रीज द अवेयरनेस ऑफ एग्जिस्टिंग एंड पोटेंशियल इंटरनेशनल ट्रेड. सो एक पोटेंशियल इंक्रीज होती है, बहुत अवेयरनेस जनरेट होती है अबाउट द इंटरनेशनल ट्रेड, दैट इंटरनेशनल ट्रेड में किस तरह की अपॉर्चुनिटीज हैं, किस तरह की टेक्नोलॉजीज टेक्निक्स जो है ऑफर की जा रही हैं और यूज हो रही हैं. सो दीज आर ऑल दैट 4 मेजर ऑब्जेक्टिव व्हिच यूज इन दिस प्रोग्राम. If we talk about the major services of Trade Point Network, so Trade Point Network जो major services provide करता है, that is to provide an electronic trading opportunity, that is ETO. Yes, again it's an opportunity through which the electronic trading can be provided. It's include all the list of current world opportunities. At the same time, facilitate to create a multimedia catalog for their informations. Yes, they can perform the catalogs, brochures. They have all that text informations. So facilitate them, and yes, at the same time, provide the catalog services which basically exhibit about the product also. So giving the ideas about the product also and the extra facility which is served with that particular product. Next is what is ETO. ETO is basically stands for electronic trading opportunity. That is what this is a system in which all those trading opportunities was provided. This is one of a major service under the UNTPDC Global Research Program. It is bringing out, or in this search basically user can search about that visual catalogs. And yes, they can have all that visual special projects for that particular products and services. Next is CommerceNet. CommerceNet is basically, it's in a hover or it's a web server to provide the information for the open electronic marketplace for the interbusiness transaction. If we talk about the interbusiness transaction, so what are those information are required? वो informations यहाँ provide होती हैं. It basically required to improve that source of business and yes, give a right practice in the businesses. So the major features of entering into the e-commerce is what? Having an e-catalogs, have a right idea about the business, get the informations about the business, have a world and wider market. So yes, this is what the major feature and major sources which is used in the international practices and the international business, which actually lead to have a maximum opportunities in the international trade. So this is all about for this session. We are winding up here. Thank you so much. IGNOU MOOCs.